Shar'ron, I'm going to guide us through a yin practice today. Thanks for joining. Option for 2 blocks, a bolster, and a blanket. Go ahead and start reclined all the way on your backs. With each increasing inhale, start to flood the body with breath as you fill from navel to heart. Watching the breath run up the spine, and with every exhale, watching the breath released from the body as it floats from the heart back down to the navel. Now draw your awareness to your jaw, the sets of teeth here. And is there tension in the jaw? Is there a slight clenching? See if you can create space between the teeth. The tongue can rest on the dome-shaped palate, the roof of the mouth, a slight pressure pressing up through cranium. Now, if you'd like, you can bring one palm to the heart, one palm to the belly. Really feeling the beating of your heart, the breath in your body, and set an intention right here. A prayer, a thought of gratitude, something sacred that you hold with reverence. And as long as this heart beats, we live with a purpose. Even in the midst of a pandemic and all that's happening in our worlds, we still live on purpose. So as long as this heart is beating, this breath is in this body, there's something to be thankful for, something that's sacred. Take a deep breath in and an audible exhale out. Now start to release the arms up and overhead. See if the arms can actually rest on the earth. Maybe the arms have to be extended out to the sides of the body. Maybe they're directed back. Make that contact, that connection. And then start to extend one leg and the other long. Start to reach through the body. Take this morning stretch. For some of us, the hips will even float off the earth. If the bolster's under the knees, take a deep breath in. Exhale, start to release the knees in towards the chest, hooking one palm to one knee and one palm to the other. Now start to massage the low back out here. Slowly taking some circles. Notice if you have begun to clench the jaw. And then in your own time, directing the legs up towards the sky, come into reset pose. Imagine we have a block on the bottoms of our feet. A little bit of flexion, pressing the heels up towards the sky, and then start to rotate the ankles. Maybe a counterclockwise rotation, maybe a clockwise. A little bit of engagement in the lower abdominal wall here, that's okay. And a little bit of effort. The knees can be bent if it's too intense. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, let's come into happy baby pose, sliding the palms to the ankles, the transversal arc, or even the backs of the thighs. Now, imagine the knees are melting towards the long edges of the mat, the sides of the rib cage. But imagine that that's happening without force. So you're just allowing your body to be as it is, directing the body to hold a posture. And as we rest in this posture, we begin to encompass the edges of the body again. And what does it feel like to draw the energy to the toes? What does it feel like for the body to expand within itself? To be present, even when there's tension. So we create this safe tension to nourish these unseen parts of ourselves. Now, some will feel led to have a little bit of movement here. So maybe you sway the feet ever so slightly to massage the sacrum. Others will feel the sweet spot just holding that posture and that shape. Without lifting the head off the earth, start to tuck the chin in towards the heart. Find length through the top of the spine, cervical spine here. The top, anterior chain. And draw the breath to the thighs. Think about the backs of the thighs here, even expanding with every inhale, like a lung. And so we observe what we do with tension. Do we start to grip into the pose? Do we try and avoid the tension in the pose? Or do we rely on the tool of the breath, our intention, and even the knowledge that as we hold these shapes, it's nourishing these parts of the body? Now the aim is still that C student. Beautiful breath, everyone. Take a deep inhale. And on your exhale, if you'd like to, slowly take your time to bring the soles of the feet together, dropping the heels towards inner groin. And whoa, feel how that changes the pose. A release through the low back, the sacrum, even some heat building in the low back. Take a deep breath in and an audible exhale. Now gently release the feet. If you have that bolster, just slide it to the side and start to windshield wiper the knees from side to side, slow and steady. Looking for the whole arc of the experience, that prayer, I will not abandon nor coerce my practice. I'll be with the calling out of the pose. I'll be with the shape in the pose and sensation, and then the aftermath of its release, the residue. Take a deep breath in, and when you feel ready on your exhale, we're going to extend one leg long and the other, coming into pentacle, which is to create a little star with the body. So the palms can reach to the sides of the body or even up and overhead as the legs extend towards the long edges of your mat. Now here you're going to feel the effects of that pose. I'm going to bring around that rose to feel that higher note. Now take a body scan as you rest right here in Pentacle. Where is there still tension in your body? Is it in the mind? Are you wanting to rush from moment to moment, or can you relax into becoming still? Is there tension in the bones, the ligaments? Now we're going to prepare for that pontoon. So, for many of us, we're going to have to either use the legs or the arms to reach towards that block. Maybe some of us will use this bolster. We're going to draw the feet in, having the knees bent here. We'll inhale the hips high, sliding that prop, either the blanket, the bolster, or the block under the hips. Now, if you have any herniated discs or any low back pain, maybe you use that bolster, that soft cushion. Now, we're going to take pontoon on this left side, so we'll extend the left leg long. Now that right knee can remain up towards the sky, or will soften onto the knife edge of the right edge of that foot. So the knee kind of falls out like this half butterfly pose. Opening up through the psoas on this left side. Find it to your degree. This is your recipe. So we get this safe compression to the low back. We imagine that the hips are melting down the block or over the bolster. And we breathe, weaving the breath in the tapestry of the practice, like thread through a needle, weaving in and out, creating even stitches. Now begin to observe the temperature in the room, where the air meets your skin. Begin to observe the places where the body hovers and has contact with the props. And then release the jaw, soften the teeth. Now in your mind's eye, imagine energy floating and streaming down this left leg like a river, moving those meridians with a safe stress to open, unclogging any dams and areas where there's buildup. And wash the breath down the left leg. We're going to take 3 more breaths in this pontoon, first side. So be total, deliberate, have even inhales and exhales. Once that round is complete, that last breath, draw the right knee back up and start to walk that left foot in, coming back to this supported bridge. Take a deep inhale, lift the hips up, move the block away, and on the exhale, soften the hips down. Now we're going to have some vulnerability here. Bring the palms to the top of the thighs and see if you can lengthen the arms, pressing the thighs towards the top edge of the mat. As you press the thighs also in towards the navel. Big breath right here. Exhale, release the palms. Please listen close. Bring the sole of the left foot to the right ankle, figure 4 reclined. Soften the left knee towards the top edge of your mat. Now let's stay right here for 3 to 5 breaths. Some will take that block and slide it underneath of the right foot, getting a little lift here, creating more tension. Now Yin is all about tension and functional yoga is all about tension too. So how much would you like to place in your body? Now some of you might even interlace the fingers, grabbing for that left thigh, drawing it in towards the body. Working in opposition, that left thigh draws in as that right knee presses forward. Still breathing through those 5 rounds of breath. Once those rounds are complete, release the thigh if you have it, remove the block if you have the block there, and take a deep breath in. Listen close. On the exhale, that left foot falls to the right side of the mat, right side of the body. Extending that left arm out, draw the gaze over the left shoulder head and get this twist through the low back. Holding right here for 3 to 5 rounds of breath. Once that's complete, take a deep inhale. And on the exhale, driving that left knee back up, releasing the left ankle, extend the left leg long, extend the right leg long. Return to pentacle pose as we feel and notice the echoes, the release of the postures. Now notice craving in the body. The left side has had this release. How does the right hip feel? Is it in craving and want? Let's see if we can be right here in sensation. Take a deep breath. And an exhale. Now walking the feet back in, let's prepare for pontoon second side. So grabbing onto that block, that bolster, inhale the hips high. Slide the block under the hips and soften the hips onto the prop. Now, without rushing from moment to moment, pause right here before we take shape. Slowly extend that right leg long, opening the top of that right psoas. And maybe that left knee stays up towards the sky like so. Or maybe you come onto the knife edge of the left foot, drawing that left knee out, creating that half butterfly shape on that left side. Building that safe tension to your degree. Now watch the breath run up and down that right leg like a river. Like a circuit of energy, we clear the pathway. Just using the breath and safe tension, we're able to do this. Release the jaw, get soft through the face. Imagine every follicle of hair on your head even softening here. This melting and dripping effect. Now take about 5 more breaths in this pontoon, this last side. Be total, deliberate. Allow the breath to undulate and move freely in your body. Once that round is complete, that 5th breath, you'll simply draw that left knee back up. You'll slide that right foot back in. And let's pause right here. Notice how the subtle changes in a pose entirely changes each pose. Inhale, draw the hips up. Exhale, remove the block and soften the hips down. Bring palm to palm and press the palms in towards the hips or the thighs, pressing the thighs away from the body. Isometrically, allow the thighs to reach in towards the navel, creating a little bit of traction and tension here. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, release the palms beside the body. Draw that right heel and right ankle in towards the left knee. Figure 4, reclined. Now some of us will walk that left heel in a little closer. And we'll feel tension in the low back, yeah? Now draw that knee forward. Take a few rounds of breath right here. For many of us, it's going to be 3 to 5 breaths. Slowing the breaths down, looking for even, smooth breaths. Not biting the pose, soften the jaw. When you feel ready, take a breath in. Exhale, soften that right foot off the left edge of the mat, creating this twist through the lower portion of the body. Extending that right arm out, draw the gaze over towards the right fingertips off that right shoulder head. And take 3 to 9 breaths right here, whatever is tolerable for you. When you feel ready to release the pose, take a breath in, and you exhale that right knee back up. Gently release the right ankle, extend the right leg long and the left. Now I know the impulse will be to pull the knees in towards the chest. We're going to refrain just for a moment. Feel that vulnerability in the low back. Now notice what you do with that vulnerability. Is there any clenching? The thoughts kick in, or can we breathe? Now, one knee at a time, draw it in towards the rib cage, the shoulders, or even towards the chest. And start to take some circles here. Be your own masseuse. Reversing the direction if you took some circles. And then release the feet flat to the earth. Windshield wiper the knees from side to side. Start to move out any residual air in the tendons, the ligaments here, maybe some pops and crackles in the low spine. Gently make your way to left side body in a fetal shape. Bicep can support the head. Draw the knees in towards the navel, this tucking in. That right palm makes a connection to the earth as we spread through the fingers. Inhale, slowly draw up, press into that right arm. Well done. Long holds. Let's take caterpillar pose, reversing that action. Extend the legs out all the way. And let's take caterpillar a little wider, so having the feet a little wider here. Maybe you remove the fleshy part of the glutes to anchor down through the sacrum. Now, if you have tension in the backs of the legs, we can use a bolster or a blanket to slide underneath of the knees. Now, for many of us, having the feet a little wider, it's going to relieve some of that tension. So start to find a tall spine and an open heart here. This is a very active pose. In our vinyasa classes, it's known as Dandasana, staff pose. So we imagine we're pressing into a wall. The clavicles reaching towards the shoulders as the shoulders are softening down towards the hips. Take a deep breath right here. And in your own time, walk the palms down the legs and start to coil in the chin towards the heart. You'll feel the target area through the kidneys and the low back right here. And the breath is active. And just like this song where there's spaces between the notes, as we pause, these two are the spaces in the practice. We need to have the rest, the counterpose, the tension. It's all part of the song. And the beauty of this practice of yin is it assumes, just like that shaded side of a mountain, day and night are both equally important. Rest and activity, the inhale and the exhale, tension and the release of that tension. Take 5 more breaths right here. Imagine that the breath is like the wings of the heart. There's this energy shooting out through the back, reaching to the sides of the room, this expansion. And when those rounds are complete, you'll slide the palms up You'll walk gently one foot in and the other. We'll bring the palms to the knees, the shins, and we'll press the heart through the knees. Big breath in. Exhale, close the knees. Bring the palms to one another or clasp one wrist and draw the chin in towards the heart. Feel that release through the sacrum, the low back. Big breath in. Exhale, dissolve. Now we're going to take this mongoose twist and then we'll get some movement in the spine. So lengthen this right leg out and draw that left foot into the inner thigh, the knee, or even the calf. Obviously, as the knee draws deeper in towards the body, there's more tension that's created. We'll take a counter twist before we come into mongoose twist. So tenting the fingertips behind the body, either taking the palm or the elbow, start to hook that right elbow or right palm in towards the left knee. Draw the gaze off the left shoulder head. Take 3 breaths, rinsing the spleen and the liver here. And when you're ready, take a deep breath in. Exhale, gentle dissolve of the pose. Start to drape that left arm over the knee, tenting the right fingertips, heart forward. Take a breath in. Exhale, slide onto that right hip and the edge of that right leg. You can even press the knife edge of that right foot to the earth. Now some will walk that right palm out, creating more space. Some will walk it in. So the area of tension is the right armpit all the way down to the right hip. And sometimes we forget to continue breathing. We can even hold the breath here. Not holding the breath. Allow the breath to be soft. Allow the belly to be soft. Take 3 to 5 more breaths right here. Once that last round of breath is complete, we'll all collectively take a deep inhale. And on the exhale, soften that left hip down. Whew. Gentle release, pulling the knee back in and start to press the body through the knees. Inhale. Exhale, gentle release. Let's extend the legs long this time. And let's start to massage the tops of the legs, actually moving the meridian lines here. These unseen parts of the connective tissue that weave everything together. Some of us will take that Tai Chi approach and just tap down the outer edges of the legs. Maybe the inner legs, or even the tops of the legs. Good. Now this time we'll slide that right foot into inner left thigh or calf. And we're going to take that counter twist, so we'll tent the right fingertips behind the body or plant that right palm. And we use it like a kickstand because it presses the heart more forward. Now taking the left palm or that left elbow, inhale up, always on the exhale, twisting and rinsing, drawing that gaze beyond that right shoulder head, or maybe you keep it forward
whatever would feel appropriate for your neck. We'll hold here for 3 rounds of breath. Collectively, let's take a deep inhale.
Exhale, gentle release. Draping that right arm over the right knee, tenting the left palm behind. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, shift to that left hip, the left edge of the leg, maybe the knife edge of that left foot presses into the earth. Mongoose twist, second side. Target area, left armpit, working down to that left outer hip. And so we open our hearts, our minds to the sweetness of this moment at hand in our lives. Collectively, let's take 3 more breaths right here, be total and full. Take an inhale, and on the exhale, a gentle release, slow and steady, being with the whole arc of the experience. Now, the counter pose is going to be to cross the ankles and make our way to all fours. We're going to start to move out the spine. Freedom for circles, maybe you take the pulsating forward and back. What would feel good? What's functional? How do you adapt the posture to fit you, rather than fitting the posture into what you think it should look like? And the beauty of functional yoga is it puts people before postures. It honors the difference in people, from ability level to complexity of practice to the amount of tension in your body. And it's essential that we adapt the posture for ourselves. And the 2 questions that I offer here about functional yoga is, what is the function of the pose? And why am I doing it anyway? What is the target area of the body? Right now, it's the low spine, the sacrum, even the thoracic spine, the upper body. Now maybe you reverse the rotation counterclockwise. Maybe you soften the hips down towards the heels, or even press the head and chest more forward towards the top of the mat. Again, what is the function of this pose? And why am I doing it anyway? Primarily releasing synovial fluid. The beauty of functional yoga is we can adapt a posture in a way that fits your body. Now begin to close the circle and seal the spiral. We're going to get light on the wrists here. We'll tuck the toes under, taking broken toe. So maybe you press the hips forward, and this is enough. For some of us, we're going to slide that bolster on the shins, the calves, and we're going to soften the hips down. Now think about creating space through each toe. I have a teacher who often says that in America, we settle, that we lose the function in our feet, which is why many elder people fall down. We do not have to lose this function. That local stretch I taught to roll in a tennis ball in this broken toe will keep a lot of blood flow and safe tension. Therefore, our toes can work separate, not this one appendage as if our legs are connected to the foot, the toe. It works separate. So take a deep inhale to fill. Audible exhale out. Another full inhale. Audible exhale out. One last round. Take a deep breath. Exhale, release. Well done. Come back to all fours and please untuck the toes and lightly begin to slap them out. They're tender here. Maybe rotate the ankles, hovering the tops of the feet, getting synovial fluid in there. Now listen close. We're going to come into down dog. So for some of you, you'll stay in this all fours. Others, we're going to tuck the toes under, press the heels back and down. And start to pedal one leg and the other. Feeling the blood flow through the backs of the legs. Imagine the heels are melting more, deeper and deeper, even beyond the mat. Take a deep breath in. Listen close. Walk the palms back to the feet. Take your time. If you're in all fours, find your way to a dangle pose. We're going to walk the feet out wide towards the long edges of the mat. Now there's a gracious bend in the knees. If dangle pose is not comfortable, you can use blocks underneath of the palms. So what one can do is they can grab onto the elbows, they can bend the knees, and they can sway from side to side, getting this forward flexion. If you'd like to, you can try and find more length through the legs, taking that bend out of the knees, not locking the legs here, but just finding that surrender of the heels melting down. Now release the palms. Listen close. If you have high or low blood pressure, you can soften the hips down, creating a big bend in the knees. For the rest of us, we're going to simply float up, linking the spine like Legos. This connection. Stacking blocks. Good. Now here we are in mountain pose. Check the feet, have them hips distance, maybe a little wider. Now, we want to have this posterior tuck of the tailbone. So anterior is out, posterior is forward. What that does is it aligns the three diaphragms together so we can optimize our breathing. So feel the crown of the head come up. Slide that pelvis forward towards the toes. Soften the shoulders. Now we're going to inhale this right arm up. Good. Now think about more length before we hinge. So take a deep breath in. Find that length. Exhale, hinge over towards the left, pressing strong through this right leg and right foot. Now begin to pulse 5 times, tapping the fingers. 1, 2, 3. Starting to work the QL muscle. 4, 5. Hold right here. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, soften. Close the eyes if you can. Feel. Feel the vibration of energy flood through the body. That's life force right there. Flutter the eyes open. Inhale, left arm up. Now really find that lift before we hinge. Take an inhale. Exhale, hinge over towards the right, hips towards the left, anchored through that left foot. Feel the opening through this left rib cage. Breathing into the left rib cage, we're going to take those 5 pulses, working the QL muscle. Tap, release gently. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold right here for 3, 2. Gentle release. Feeling the psoas reach up through the lateral side of the body. Now, supination in the palms. Soften the jaw. Shoulders melt down. We're going to clear the energy. Inhale, gaze up, reach up. Exhale, press the sand away. 3 more like that on your own. Inhale up. Exhale down. 2 more. Rest and feel, notice and observe. Mountain pose, Tadasana. Take a body scan here. Come back to your prayer, your intention, in this moment in your life. Flutter the eyes open. Now imagine a fern coiling in on itself. We're going to draw the chin in towards the heart as we walk back out to downward dog, sliding down the body and reaching one palm and the other towards the top edge of your mat. Pedal the legs again. Lower the knees down. Now it's your choice to take any last pose you need. Some of us are going to slide the hips and we're going to rotate in this cat-cow. Others might take a melting heart, walking the palms towards the top edge of the mat. For those of you at home, take about 10 to 15 minutes to hold your Shavasana. Thank you for being here with us today. We look forward to being in a physical class with you soon. Take care.